Hi, now we're going to go over the Resume 3 stage, actually the first phase of Resume 3. This instruction sheet that I'm looking at now, and you have a copy on Moodle, includes both phases. I strongly suggest you get going right away on this week. I'm trying to do this first phase within the first couple of days of the week. You can't do the second phase until you learn more about CSS. But we have a lot of things going on at once here now, so don't leave this till too late. This is mostly just structural stuff, setting up folders, splitting up a file into pieces, getting other files that you need, making sure things are in the right place, and doing some basic HTML work. And again, here's the note. Although this is due on Friday, don't wait till then. I suggest you do this first chunk could be done now, as I say here. Probably Monday, Tuesday would be good. So you're going to build this folder structure. A project folder, you call it what you want. I'm suggesting Resume 3. An originals folder within that folder. Remember, this is stuff that's not really on the website but you're going to use to build the website. Go get your Resume 2, your HTML version of your full resume, and put it in this originals folder because you're going to chop it up into pieces. You're not going to use it directly. Begin storing photos here. This is a good place to put photos. You can make an images folder here in your originals folder to put photos in. You're not going to use them yet. Other things like maybe the Word copy of your resume, you keep it there too. Other files you might use later if you're gathering other things. Your root folder, now this is important, right? Root folder is really the website. It's the pages that are the website and things that are really on those pages. I suggest you call it Resume 3 last name, the folder. Within that, you're going to have a few things. You're going to have the cover letter file, which is going to be renamed. More about that in a minute. And 2, 3, 4 additional pages. And also your silhouette file will be here too. So you have a number of things. In the end, probably 5 files, or maybe even more in here at this stage. So what's the instructions? Go get the cover letter. Remember the cover letter? We've used it a couple times now. I don't need the copy that has, or you can delete off the one that we used in the linking exercise that had the link to the other page, the links page, right? So we don't need that link to the links page. We don't need the links page. We just need the cover letter and the silhouette image that you had used on it. So go grab both those things and copy them and paste them into the root folder. Then rename your cover letter as index.html. How do you rename? Do a right click, choose rename on the file, and make sure you rename index.html. That should be L, by the way, not HTML. HTML. That's a mistake right there. I'll change it after. So that's going to be your home page. Your resume, in your resume file, which you probably you should have a copy now in your originals folder of Resume 2, make all the additions, changes, edits, corrections that I suggested earlier. If you've gotten behind, do everything you can at this stage, at least if I haven't got you the changes yet, to beef up your resume with more content. You need a lot of content because you're going to split it up, and that's what comes next. After you've made all the changes and additions and corrections to it, including changes to the HTML, you're going to split it up. Hopefully at this point your resume is pretty long. I will have asked many of you to add detail, description, additional categories. Now you can split up your resume into 2 or more parts. But the question is, how are you going to split it? And this is a personal decision on your part. Many people take education as one chunk, maybe adding other things on there like college activities, publications, and then maybe they separate employment out in another chunk and hook onto there things like community service, hobbies, maybe skills goes in education or employment. So they could split it. You can split into 2 parts, and they may each have a general theme and have some additional categories in them also. Maybe you have an experience split, which is education and employment, and then an about split, which is all the stuff about you, skills, hobbies, awards, activities, college activities, and so on. So what you name these, by the way, is up to you. You might call one of these resume. You don't have to, though. You might call one education and employment. Down here, you might call one experience and about. But these are going to be separate pages. You're not going to be building out of that Resume 2. You're going to grab that stuff out of it or copy it out. You can make a 3-way split. In fact, I want you to consider it, especially if you've got a lot of content at this point. It might be a resume page, which includes education and other important categories, then an employment page, then an about me page, which includes, maybe activities and hobbies and awards or something like that. So you decide on the split that makes sense for you, making sure you have at least a moderate amount of content in each page. You don't have to be equal, but a moderate amount. And think about which is going to be your primary of these pages. Where does your objective go? You could think of it on your first resume page. Let's say you think your education page is your most important page. Maybe it leads off that. Maybe on the other hand, you put on every page that you split up. It's on experience and education and about, whatever. Or maybe you're just going to move it to your cover letter page. You decide where that goes. How will you split your pages? I suggest you create copies of your original full resume. That would be an easy way to do it. So go to your resume 2, do a right-click copy on it, go into your root folder, paste it, change the name of it to education. Paste another copy, change it to about. Paste another copy, however many pages you're going to have, and then go into each one and delete out the stuff that's not supposed to be in that page. On the other hand, and you would do that, of course, in Notepad++. On the other hand, you could go make new blank pages from your blank file, which I hope you have by now. And then you could go into the original file, the Resume 2 file in Notepad++, and just grab the chunks that you want and go paste them into the body of the page. However you do it, whatever method you use, remember every page needs a full HTML structure, doc type, HTML, head, body. Every page will have a title and an H1. And every page, the title in H1 is going to be unique. On your index, your title is probably, your title will be something like your name and a description like welcome or seeking a job or something that makes sense on that cover letter page. But your H1 is probably just going to be your name. Let's imagine you have a resume page, which is your education page, and you call it resume. Doesn't matter. You might not call it, maybe call it education. Doesn't matter. The title, remember the name of the page is going to be, again, your name, and then something that makes sense here. Resume, college experience, education, and so on. And your H1 maybe you'll just say your name and resume, or more likely, I don't like that very much, by the way. I think it should say your name and then education, whatever the key category is, for instance. And then maybe your employment page will say your name and experience for the H1, but employment and experience for your title. Your title can have more words. You want to keep your H1 pretty short. Remember, H1 is your big header. Okay, that is actually a lot of stuff. That's the end of phase 1. I suggest you do this Monday and Tuesday. The next stage is going to be starting to add styling to all these pages with an external style sheet. So if you can get independent, split up pages with your cover letter and resume and your silhouette there too, renaming the cover letter, and 2 or 3 independent resume pages, and have all the HTML right, you'd be doing a great job early on this week.